is going on, guys, gals, aliens, and degen freaks? Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Freaky Friday. Welcome to the bullish momentum. All right. So we are actually streaming today on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.com all at the same time, thanks to Restream. And so shout out to Restream. We finally paid our bill, so we can stream to all the things. And so shout out to all the people who are watching across all platforms. And do me a favor, if whatever you're watching on, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave a like or a heart or whatever it is that you're watching on, and you share this on your platforms that you like to use. And so we'll get the shilling out of the way. We'll make sure you guys are in the Discord. Go in the Discord and make yourselves known. This is where you can get the gas fees for Ethereum. You get the BTC price, Ethereum price, and you can see what giveaways and different announcements that I am doing for the Dano Dojo community, which is you guys. So with that being said, I want you guys to come in here, chat amongst yourselves, come into the Hangout and Chat section, and make sure you are getting acquainted with each other, so then you know which legends are who in the Dano Dojo crew. All right, so just want to let you guys know that we are still running the giveaway with BITFLEX. So shout out to the partners of the channel, BITFLEX. And if you guys use my referral code, there's no KYC, and you can trade the markets, whether they're going up or down. You get a fat, juicy bonus. And we just want to remind you guys that you can use any of the links in the description to directly support the channel. All right, so we have some amazing things happening and some possible announcements and some really bullish statements that could be made at the Bitcoin conference by former President Donald Trump. And so what we could see is a bullish momentum up to that date of the Bitcoin conference. And historically, the Bitcoin price during the conference dates kind of just goes sideways. It doesn't pump, it doesn't dump, it just kind of sits. This one might be different, guys. This one might be a little bit different. So it's speculated that President Donald Trump is going to announce something with Bitcoin, saying that he will try to use Bitcoin as a reserve currency for the United States. Now, this is a big bullish statement that is being made, and that could potentially be made, that could actually spur a major, major pump on Bitcoin. And so speaking of Bitcoin, let's check on the Bitcoin price. We have had a bullish trading momentum going over 65,000. So with this 65,300, we are seeing a rejection right now, just a little bit of a rejection off of that pump back up to test those levels. Excuse me, guys. So it's looking like, I mean, this candle was a nice candle momentum on the 3 hour. If you're looking at the 3 hour, we actually printed a green dot here. So on the 3 hour, we have a massive green candle, almost 3% on Bitcoin. So what that did is that actually got the market a little bit heated up. Coins like Ticker Bitcoin, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu has pumped up 10% on the 3 hour. If we go to the daily, 9% on the daily, and then we have things like MicroStrategy is, like I said, guys, on a steady trend up to crush past that $2,000 mark of their stock because they implemented the Bitcoin strategy. All right, so now let's check on Bitcoin one more time, and then we're going to get through a little bit of the news and some of the bullish things that has been happening. So obviously, if you guys were watching, we had the RNC last night, and that was Trump's first public speaking event since the attempted assassination. And so I actually when I got home, I caught some of it, and I caught the portion where he was honoring Corey, who was the man who lost his life by shielding his family. He immediately shielded his family and took a bullet to protect his 2 daughters and his wife. And so it was truly it was a sad moment, and it actually got me tearing up because, you know, the way that they honored that guy was really something. And then so it's pretty cool that they did that. And you could feel the energy in the room. You could feel that like there's something special that's happening. And so, all right, so Tone Gia, what do you think about Nakamoto Games chart? All right, so yeah, I'm actually super bullish on Nakamoto Games. I mean, honestly, I think in terms of crypto gaming has kind of been on it had a nice pump. It had a nice pre-pump in March. Like crypto gaming and AI were the narratives in January, February, March this year that actually got a nice bump to the upside because of the speculation on it. So it was just that, we're going to start seeing possible retail coming into AI, coming into gaming, and the gaming narrative and the community actually retail buying into some of these tokens. And then obviously with the tokens being connected with a game. So with Nakamoto Games, it's a really interesting token because it's part of the ecosystem with multiple games. It's a dashboard, and the chart is bullish because if you were to consider this just a massive, you know, just a downwards wedge here, this thing is sitting at some support and actually a little bit below the support where we can start moving back up into these ranges, where I think the obvious next steps towards the 200-day moving average, which is $1.66, and then breaking these all-time highs right here at that, this is the daily. So yeah, the all-time high for Nakamoto Games was sitting at, I thought it was $5, but yeah, it's $3.28. And guys, if you haven't actually checked out Nakamoto Games, I do have a referral link in the description. And there's multiple games that you can test out. And the way that it works is kind of like an arcade. It's like going into a digital arcade and you're using your NAKA as a payment system to go in and get a token, and you put the token in the game. You join the room, you join the lobby, you can play with others, or you are playing either free to play or paid to play, and then you get percentages for how well you do in the game, and then you can basically earn NAKA if you actually grinded on this platform and just strictly you just went in and you did you were just crushing the games, you played all of them. I bet you probably could earn some decent amount of NAKA. I haven't tested it out myself because I honestly don't have the time to sit and play all of their games, but we could do an experiment one of these days where we just like do a live stream where we literally live stream for like 12 hours and we end up just playing all of the NAKA games and see how much NAKA we can earn, and the cost ratio of like how much NAKA we used and how much did we end up by the end of the day. Be very curious to see. But yeah, that's kind of the narrative. You know, there's the 3 narratives that you can trade on right now in crypto. You have the AI narrative, you have the crypto gaming narrative, which those intertwine, and you have the memes. And then you have the one that's kind of off to the side right now, but it's going to be picking up steam, is the real world assets, which is going to be companies tokenizing their brand into an ecosystem. And then you think about, go down the line of what tokens are going to help them do that. And that is things like Chainlink. So then you could think, okay, yo, The Italian follower. Shout out to, wow, man, we got people watching from all over the world. Well, shout out to Tone Gia. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Tone Gia. Shout out to the Italians. Shout out to the Italians. But yeah, so you got to think you can kind of trade on these narratives. You pick the I don't want to say pick the right tokens, because obviously there are going to be tokens that will surprise you that end up being the quote right tokens to pick, because most likely when we start to see Ethereum pump, we start seeing Ethereum pump off of this ETF, and just by Ethereum's metrics alone, we're going to start seeing Ethereum trade up into where it was rejected off of this this asymmetrical triangle, where we had a asymmetrical triangle that broke to the downside, and we've been breaking out of that and consolidating from the low here at 2,800. And so now you could look at this and think, okay, this is a inverse head and shoulders, and we are going to trade back up and test up into this previous resistance, which was at 3,800. So that's another $400 to $500 move of Ethereum, and then that would play out to get back up into this range, which is right up here. And so I'm curious to see if we get some resistance, or we just start breaking through and then we get like a candle like this, because this was a 20% move to the upside on the daily. This was a 20% move on Ethereum. It just like went nuts and gained so much like market cap on top of like what, say, if you want to compare it to what Solana does, and because BNB and Solana, it gained a substantial amount of market cap from that candle, just from that candle alone, that 20% candle. But then you got to think about altcoin summer. If you look up here, you got altcoin summer, you got bullish summer, and people have been calling a Solana summer around the corner, meaning going into late summer. We start seeing Solana going back to its $200 ranges and trying to break its all-time high. We've compared it to what BNB did in the previous cycle, where we had a massive run on BNB. A massive run on BNB. You can see where we were at $28, $38, $40, about $44, and then we just ran so hard, and it only took 5 months. So you have to think about the time trajectory of where we're sitting at right now in terms of the supply crunch that we've been talking about. We've been talking about the 8 months that are left in the max gains portion and take profit zone of what a halving data gives us, which is when you go through a halving, it takes about a year for you to see the max gains and max top point of Bitcoin according to what has happened in the past from the previous halvings. So we're only 2.5 to 3 months into the fourth halving. So you add 8 months, that gives it exactly at this point of where we would love to start taking profits. This means for our meme coin plays, this means for our blue chips, this means for pretty much everything. And that doesn't mean we're going to like sell the whole bag, but I think at that point, you'd be very surprised to see how much gains are in your wallet by not getting distracted, swapping around, getting convinced to sell out of your bag to go into some new thing just so you can maybe get a 2x or 3x on a launch. I mean, this is what we're going to show you guys in the next 6, 7, 8 months, the difference between a long-term strategy and a jumping around trying to sell at a 2, 3x and 2 month to 3 month investment strategy. And I guarantee you we will outperform that ghost. You know how when you play a driving game and you can get the ghost version of your last time trial, so then you can beat your last ghost trial version. This is like how you can see this. You're gonna compare it, and I want you guys to test it. Test it out. Try and have a lot more long-term strategy outlook. It's possible. It's definitely possible. All right, so we're gonna go. We wanted to play this little clip here.
And I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what I know. And I know President Trump. I know President Trump is a fighter. I've been saying this since 2015. Now look at what's happened over the last 10 years. We have all seen it with our own eyes. I'm in the tough guy business, and this man is the toughest, most resilient human being that I've ever met in my life. The higher the stakes, the harder he fights, and this guy never, ever gives up. So what's at stake here? The answer is in President Trump's text, and I quote, "A fight for our country." I know why he's running for president again. Why else would he put himself through everything he's dealt with just to get back here? We all know he doesn't need this.
All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry, my daughter's like about to walk on camera in a bathing suit. I'm like, you can't do that, sweetie. I'm live. That's summer. That's summer for you.
This guy's got a great life. He has a beautiful.
But yeah, so I've kind of said the same thing. I know you guys, if you've been watching this channel, I've said the same thing. I was like, and oddly enough, eerily enough, the night before the attempted assassination occurred, I was making a point and I was thinking, I was watching the Thread Guy and Andrew Tate interview, and they were talking about why some men do what they do or whatever, you know, that was the conversation, or why do people do what they do. And I thought to myself, I've had that same thought about Trump and why he would put himself through all of that, just being the target for a lot, for just, I mean, I don't even have to go into it. You guys know. You guys know. So it's just interesting. But yeah, because he could have just effed off and like just played golf and enjoyed the rest, you know, the rest of his life. But what's interesting is that no, you probably can't when certain people are in power. You can't do that. So you can't do the American thing, I guess. Very interesting. Very interesting. Some people think that they're about to take Biden fishing soon. Man. All right. When in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. This is the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Classic. We've been showing this chart for forever on this channel. Probably for the past 2 years now we've showed it. And it speaks a lot of volumes. Also, this video speaks a lot of volumes too. I love that. Because that's how it feels sometimes. You're like, want to flip your desk, flip a desk, throw a chair, Kyle a wall. Just like, yes, no, we understand. It can be like that sometimes. All right, so legendary hedge fund manager Hugh Hendry, guys, says Bitcoin can triple in price. Maybe he knows something we don't know. No. Maybe he just understands what we have been talking about this entire time. All right, so interesting metric here. Yahoo Finance has 6 types of investments that will plummet in value before the end of 2024. So just mere months away from the presidential election, there's no shortage of economic issues that are top of mind for many investors. Inflation, which remains sticky, exploding rates, a difficult housing market, and the uncertainty regarding when the Federal Reserve will cut rates. Now, I would suggest and bet that the Federal Reserve and the Feds will cut rates quarter 4 going into the election. They have a booming stock market, and they have some type of playing mechanism and something to have as a winning ticket for the Democratic Party, for whoever they have as their nominee. And then they say, look, we have a booming stock market. We have this is happening, we paid college debt. Look at all the debt that we took away from all of these Americans. And so could be that we get rate cuts actually later this year at 0.25% or actually 0.5%. So, but sure, the stock market has been on a roll with the S&P 500 up 17% year to date, NASDAQ up 25%. But compared to Bitcoin, that is nothing, which Bitcoin has been up 180, about 150%. And then you see, okay, investments in industries depending on consumer spending is very, very risky because we're going to probably have less consumer spending because people are not able to spend as much per inflation and still earning the same amount of money. So then you got real estate and stock. Real estate stocks and real estate investment trust are now starting to not be the pick because it is just more counterparty risk and more headache than it would be to actually go into something like tech stocks or Bitcoin. And see, non-AI technology stocks, bonds. Some tech stocks have reached unsustainable valuations. If earnings fall short of expectations or there is a broader market correction, these stocks could experience significant declines. Then you got the bonds, you got commercial real estate and regional banks, and then it's Marcus Levin is the co-founder of XYO. Shout out to XYO. According to Marcus Levin, co-founder of XYO Network, commercial real estate is not going to do well because of the lingering hangover from COVID, with a lot of people not returning to an office environment. In turn, he said, this has repercussions on the banking sector. Therefore, I think the regional banks that are heavily tied to commercial real estate are probably not going to do so well. He said, I think government bonds are not going to perform well either because the debt is so high. So with such high debt levels across the board, the yields on those bonds will be pushed upward. And conversely, the value of the bonds will be structurally pushed down, he added. So, and then, check this out, crypto and speculative stocks. As WinCap's column noted, it is possible that high-risk assets such as cryptocurrencies and speculative stocks may see a decline by the end of the year due to market volatility and overall investor sentiment. But I don't agree with that. I think that we are actually going to see what we with what the market is actually telling us. And what these metrics is that, look, exchange is expected to run out of Bitcoin 9 months after the halving. And so we have this BYBIT report reporting that miners, so the surge in institutional interest has stabilized and drastically increased demand for Bitcoin. So demand is increasing, more demand, and also with Ethereum, more demand. Ethereum is deflationary as well. We have Bitcoin being ultimately deflationary because it has the halving mechanism, and there's only 21 million Bitcoin that can be in the circulating supply. But we know now that that is not the max circulating supply because we have a portion of Bitcoin that is lost. We have a portion that is ultimately, theoretically, not going to move because it's part of Satoshi's wallet. And so then you have all these metrics put into play, and the increase is likely to exacerbate the shortage and push prices higher after the halving. 8 months. About a year, give it 8 months from now, this point of where we're sitting at. And it's going to start getting pretty crazy, guys. It's going to start getting pretty crazy. All right, so put a 1 in the chat right now if you think that we are going to be trading bullish into the weekend in the markets, or you think we're going to hit this resistance up here at these levels with Ethereum and Bitcoin, and we get a fake up. We get kind of like a little push up, 66, 66.2, and then we get some resistance. What do you guys think? Put a 1 if you think we're just going to crush through this level and we just start off to